Let's make a bowl. Hey everyone, it's Squdge here. Welcome back to another video. Thank you very much for joining me today. We are going to be playing with some resin today. So, what I was thinking was that we will make a sort of freeform bowl. Now these have been around for a while, but I have not done one yet, and so I thought I would share my tips and tricks with you guys because I've done a couple and I've had some successes and I've had some failures. So I thought I would just share with you how I do it and that we'd work through that process together. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I have got this sheet. It's just an old shower curtain, as you can see from the top of it. Always test your plastic first to check that cured resin will come off of it easily. You can use cling film, you can use a whole bunch of things. I really like this because I can reuse it. So I want it to be about the size of this plastic tray, so I've just cut my plastic tray, the foil tray. I've cut my plastic down to size, and I'm just using this bit of rope to act as kind of like a border to stop the resin flowing everywhere. So you don't need a mould to do this, you can do this completely freeform. So I've mixed up my resin and I'm going to do it in these 4 different greens. So once I've mixed it, I am just going to pop the bubbles in the cups. You do not want to use a blowtorch or a lighter, and preferably not a heat gun when you are using thin sheets of plastic, because they will burn, you'll get a hole in it, it'll all be a disaster. So once I've mixed my resin, as you can see it getting clearer and clearer, I'm just going to pop any bubbles in the silicone cups. That will try and get rid as many as possible without me having to put any heat through the actual plastic on the table. You can use a heat gun for a very quick application, but you do need to be very aware of the fact that the plastic will melt and you'll get a hole in it and it will become a big mess. So I've poured some out into the cups. I poured the wrong amounts, and then I'm deciding which of these greens I'm going to use. So I've got a very dark green there, which has just got a little bit in the cup. Then this lightest green is going in the largest cup with the largest amount of resin, and then I've got another 2 different tones of green, and I'm just doing this in shades of green, that's all. So I've divided my resin. I'm going to colour it, and I have left in me mixing it because I don't know about you, but to me, watching things mix into resin is just deeply satisfying. She says getting totally distracted while watching that. Yeah, so here you can see the shades of green. Now I'm using mica powders. When you are using mica powders in resin, you need to be aware of the ratio. You don't want more than 10% of the volume to be the mica powder. So that light green I have poured into the middle, that's going to be the bulk. Then I've got this kind of translucent green next. Then this more bright green, and then my dark green is going around the edges. Now these will start to blend into each other. I had not quite filled my spaced out my rope far enough, but that's fine. So I'm going to carry on applying the different colours. Just keep going over and over the same rings to allow for the same pattern. And I just popped my pots of mica in there so that I had a little bit of extra space. You can make this as big or as small as you want, just use what you have. And then that bright green right on the edge. So I've got the lightest in the middle, then a kind of translucent, then a middling, and then that bright one on the edge. And very quick blast with the heat gun. So I came back 2 hours later to test, and I ran my little tool through it, and you can see it's leaving a pattern, but not great. Another 2 hours later, so 4 hours after I poured it, tested it again. It's still leaving the pattern, but not perfect. 8 hours now, I'm just cementing that pattern through. And then at 11 hours, it is dry to the touch, but it's still soft enough. So all I'm going to do is pop it into the pot that I want it to take the shape of, still in its plastic, position where I want it, and then leave it to fully cure. It's as simple as that. Okay, we are back and our piece is done, so we're just going to lift it out of our tray, and then we can peel off the plastic, and we'll just you have any bits like this that are creased in, you'll have to wiggle it a little bit, but it will come out of the gap. Let's go round. I'll come back to that bit right at the end. There we go. And then it's just where this is creased, it's just in the gap. So you just need to pull it out. And then this, you can use again. So let's pop that up there for a sec. And let's take a look. Now, the nice thing about this is there is still a little bit of flexibility. Okay, you can still move this around a bit, which means we're going to be able to take off all of this additional edging. It's so thin you can pull it off by hand. If I can pull it off by hand with hands that don't really work, then you can too. So any bits like that we're going to get rid of. And then there are some bits that are a bit thicker. Because this still hasn't fully cured, we can trim the edges off. So if you've got any really sharp or unwieldy edges, you can just cut them off. Okay. If you have left it too long and it's not soft enough to cut, you can also just use a sander. So a piece of sandpaper or a little hand sander or what have you. On some in the past I've used my little one of these with the drill bit on the end to do it. That works too. So I'm just going to neaten this edge. Now unfortunately this got a little bit squashed. I would have liked this to be as high as this side, but this is the unique thing with resin. You can position it however you like. It has a mind of its own and it will do what it wants to do. So, you know, something to bear in mind. You can position it however you like, but resin is temperamental and will do as it likes. So we've got quite a sharp bit on the inside edge here. That may need to be sanded. No, still comes off. There we go, that's that nice. There, that's a much nicer curve. And then we've got that end, and that, I like it. I really do like it. We've got a little bit of it flashing in there. So let's pop that off by hand. Oh, I think we're looking good. I like it. Right. Let me tidy up and I will be right back. Awesome sauce. So there is our bowl. This is a great sized bowl. As you can see, I can put my hands in it. It's a great sized bowl for storing all sorts of things. So I might store my, I'm going to use it for my resin storage. And I'm thinking that I might store my beach pieces in it. So I've got my moss. Got some starfish. See how nicely these fit along it. And then I've got my shells, other starfish, shells, little shells, my star sand, and then my aqua sand Look at that, perfect. And I love that. You've kind of got space to hold it with your thumb in there. So it gives you a great place to hold the bowl. Just in that spot, which is good. So yeah, there we go. I think that's how I'm going to do. How I'm going to store my beachy pieces in this bowl. You can obviously make any type of bowl you like. I am gonna, now that I've looked at these, I want to make a beach inspired one. When we're coming into summer, I'll do another one for the summer. And yeah, I mean, it's a really, really simple process, and you can make it any shape you like. I'll add in a couple of pictures here of previous ones I've made, so you can just get an idea of different shapes and things that you can create. And you can create them using a range of different tools and shapes and what have you. I just use that bit of rope because then you can adjust that to any size you like. You can use trays, you can use all sorts of things. And just make sure you get a plastic that you can peel the resin off of. I will put a link to the shower curtain that I use because I can guarantee, as you've seen, that the resin just slides off of it. And yeah, thank you very much for spending time with me today, guys. Keep crafting and I'll see you all soon. Bye.